The Blackmagic Pocket 4K came out in 2018 with 4K RAW capabilities for only a total price of $1,295. Since then, this camera has been refreshed twice with the Blackmagic 6K and then the Blackmagic 6K Pro. In today's video, I want to walk through the specs of this camera, test footage, and my camera rig setup to help you guys decide if this camera is for you in 2022. What's up guys, welcome to the channel. Social Vibes here to help you all with your content creation needs. And today, I'm so excited to talk about this camera because I think it has enormous value. In the past, I've shot with the Blackmagic 6K and I absolutely love that camera. After about 7 months of doing YouTube videos with it, I found myself wanting a second camera solely for YouTube, but I didn't have the money to afford it. So I sold the Blackmagic 6K to purchase the Sony FX3. But guys, I gotta tell you, I really miss shooting with the Blackmagic cameras, and so here we are today with the Blackmagic 4K, a very affordable camera, especially if you buy it used like I did. So let's dive in talking about the specs of this 3-year-old camera and why it could possibly be the option for you. So the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K features a 4/3 sensor size, 13 stops of dynamic range, and dual native ISO up to 25,600 for HDR images and incredible low light performance. External controls give you quick access to essential features, while the large 5-inch touchscreen makes it very easy to frame shots, focus accurately, and change camera settings. Now there are a few different ways to record media on this camera, and those options include a SD card, a UHS 2 card, a CFast 2 card, and you can even record through the USB-C port to an external drive. But you guys know as well as I do, the specs aren't the most important thing. What actually matters is the image quality that comes out of the camera, as well as how easy and how functional is this camera in a day-to-day setting. So today I want to provide you guys with some sample footage to view, as well as talk about the way that I use this camera with the add-on attachments. So here's a short film that I shot of my friend, and after this film gets done showing, we'll come back and talk about my camera rig.
I've always aspired to be creative. For me, it started with photography. It became a new gateway. This adrenaline came with sharing the stories through media. Photography kind of became an outlet for me, a way to not only feel included in other people's lives, but to also share stories that I was passionate about. Then I found myself in coffee, dialing in the beans to the right settings and crafting delicious cups of coffee felt natural to me, kind of like taking a photo. It's the same feeling of excitement that I get when I deliver coffee for people to taste and enjoy.
So I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I actually came up with that in about 5 minutes while sitting at the coffee shop trying to think about what I was gonna do to show you guys some test footage with this camera. Now I usually don't do things like this, but if you guys would like to download this footage so that you can check it out for yourselves on your own computers, I can send you a link. So just let me know in the comment section below if that's something that you're interested in. So starting with the cage, I bought this half cage from Small Rig, and I do really like this because I found that I didn't really need a full cage, and I don't really like it to be more bulky than it has to be. Now this SSD holder actually came from whenever I had my Blackmagic 6K and I was running with the tilted cage with that guy, and so I just used it on this rig, and you can buy this separately. And again, everything in this video will be linked below in the description. Now the lens that I chose to use is a Sigma 18-35 1.8. This lens is incredible, and I'm sure you saw so many people doing YouTube videos specifically about this camera and this lens combination together, because you just get such sharp images out of this lens partnered with this camera. Now when I bought this camera, it came with a cheap speed booster and it actually broke on me. And so I had to borrow this other speed booster from my friend who had a GH5 because I didn't have a way to use my camera with the lens, because again, I didn't have the adapter because it broke. Now it turns out that this speed booster is actually poor in quality, and you can see it on the left of the screen in a bunch of my shots. It's almost like it's not fully in focus or it's distorting. I'm not really sure what happened, but I would definitely not go with these cheaper speed boosters because you're actually going to damage the quality of your image coming out of this camera. Now since then I have found the speed booster that I want, and I've done a lot of research, and it's a very high quality speed booster, and I'll be leaving that linked below in the description. Now moving forward up the lens, we have this 3D printed focus gear that basically allows me to use the focus controls on my Ronin RS2, and then the matte box that I chose to go with is this Tilta matte box, and it comes with this incredibly high quality neutrality density filter that gives me no vignetting at all, which is a big deal because all of the ND filters or the variable ND filters that I've used before this system actually gives me some vignetting in the corners and makes my skies look all weird and stuff. But with this guy, I don't have any of those issues at all. And obviously if you don't need an ND filter, like whenever you're shooting inside, you don't have to use this. And to actually change the ND filter, all you have to do is turn this wheel right here, and it turns very smoothly. Now moving on to the bottom of the camera, I did include a lens support just for added security when I'm out shooting, because everything on the end of this camera is kind of a lot not to have some type of lens support system with it. Now the lens support that I chose to go with is from Small Rig, as well as the 15mm rods and the base plate as well. And right here on the bottom of the camera, we have my favorite way that I love to power cameras now, and that's with this Anton Bauer Titan base. And basically it allows you to get this super sleek setup without having V-mount batteries on the back, and you can't see your screen. It just really makes your cameras a lot more functional when adding extra battery life. And as you can see on the side right here, the way that I'm actually powering this camera is through a cable, because I don't really like to use dummy batteries, because when this battery goes dead, the whole camera shuts off. So if at any point the battery goes dead right here, then I still have some juice inside the camera, and so the camera just doesn't shut off on me all of a sudden. And obviously that just gives you a little bit longer shoot time as well, because you have the battery inside. And right here on the bottom of the camera, I just have a little plate that allows me to evenly place the camera on the desk without wobbling, because if I didn't have that there, then this lens support system would stick out and wobble all over the table. Now there is a better solution that I have other than this plate, and I'll be leaving that linked below in the description as well. So like I said, you can typically find these cameras at very affordable rates if you buy them used, and I love to shop on places like Facebook Marketplace because typically they actually come all rigged out with parts and things, and still at a very affordable price. So what do you guys think? Do you think this camera setup is good for 2022? Let me know in the comment section below. And until then, if you guys are interested in some Sony FX3 or some Blackmagic 6K content, then check out these videos right over here.